Woman over 40. Did you know that silent inflammation could be speeding up your aging, stealing your energy, and increasing your risk of serious diseases, even if your lab results still look normal? Studies show that after age 40, more than 65% of women have some degree of chronic inflammation, often without realizing it. And here's the scariest part. This inflammation is like a fire burning inside you, damaging your health from within every single day. But here's the good news. There's a simple, accessible, and science-backed tool that can help put out that fire. One that thousands of women around the world are already using with impressive results. I'm talking about intermittent fasting. Today, you're going to discover why this practice is being considered a true weapon against inflammation, how it works in your body, and most importantly, how to start safely so you can enjoy all the benefits without harming your health. Before we dive in, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend who also wants to age with more vitality and fewer aches and pains. Let's walk this journey together to reverse inflammation and reclaim your energy. What is silent inflammation and why does it increase after 40? Imagine a slow-burning fire inside your body, but without causing intense pain or obvious symptoms at first. That's how silent inflammation works, a chronic process in which your immune system stays constantly activated, releasing inflammatory substances that damage cells, tissues, and organs over time. The problem is that unlike acute inflammation, the kind you get when you sprain an ankle or cut your finger, silent inflammation can last for years without you noticing, laying the groundwork for diseases like type 2 diabetes, arthritis, cardiovascular problems, cognitive decline, and even certain types of cancer. And why does this get worse after 40, especially for women? The answer lies in three main factors. Hormonal changes starting in perimenopause. The drop in estrogen levels directly affects inflammation control. Estrogen plays a protective role by helping regulate the immune response. When it declines, the tendency toward inflammation increases. Insulin resistance with a slower metabolism and changes in insulin sensitivity. The body begins to store more glucose and visceral fat. This fat, especially in the abdominal area, is metabolically active and releases inflammatory substances 24 hours a day. Oxidative stress buildup over the course of life. Our bodies accumulate cellular damage caused by pollution, poor diet, stress, and lack of quality sleep. After 40, the body's natural ability to repair this damage decreases, making it easier for chronic inflammatory processes to take hold. The most dangerous part? Many women mistake the signs of this inflammation for normal aging. Persistent fatigue, difficulty losing weight, bloating, mild joint pain, hair thinning, and mood changes. In reality, these are warning signals from your body asking for intervention, and this is exactly where intermittent fasting comes in as an ally, helping reduce these inflammatory markers and restore internal balance. The connection between insulin resistance, menopause, and inflammation. After 40, many women notice that losing weight becomes harder, belly fat starts to accumulate, and energy levels drop. These changes are not just an inevitable part of aging, they are the result of a process in which insulin resistance, menopause, and chronic inflammation are deeply interconnected. Insulin is a hormone that acts like a key, allowing glucose to enter cells to be used as energy. When the body becomes resistant to insulin, glucose begins to build up in the blood, forcing the pancreas to produce even more insulin to compensate. This excess hormone not only stimulates fat storage, especially in the abdominal area, but also fuels ongoing inflammatory processes during perimenopause and menopause. Declining estrogen levels make this situation worse. Estrogen, beyond regulating the reproductive cycle, helps maintain insulin sensitivity, controls fat distribution, and plays a natural anti-inflammatory role. When estrogen decreases, metabolism slows down, visceral fat increases, and systemic inflammation finds fertile ground to develop. The result is a vicious cycle. Less estrogen leads to greater insulin resistance. Insulin resistance promotes the buildup of visceral fat. And this fat, in turn, releases inflammatory substances that perpetuate the problem. This process not only raises the risk of conditions such as type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cognitive decline, but also accelerates cellular aging. In this context, intermittent fasting emerges as a strategy capable of breaking this cycle by creating regular periods without caloric intake. It lowers circulating insulin levels, improves the cell's response to this hormone, and consequently reduces the production of inflammatory mediators. Linked to abdominal fat. If you are a woman over 40, you have probably noticed that your body no longer responds to diets and exercise the way it once did. Metabolism slows down. Hormones fluctuate, energy seems to fade more often, and aches and swelling that didn't exist before begin to appear. These changes do not mean that something is wrong with you, but rather that your body is going through a natural process, one that requires specific strategies to remain healthy and vibrant. Intermittent fasting, when practiced safely and in a way that respects the body and individual signals, can be one of these strategies. By allowing longer intervals between meals, you give insulin levels a chance to drop and allow the body to tap into fat stores for energy. This not only aids in weight loss, but also decreases the release of inflammatory substances associated with abdominal fat, the type that is hardest to lose and most dangerous for your health. In addition, regular fasting periods stimulate natural cellular cleaning and repair processes known as autophagy. This internal renewal helps reduce the buildup of damaged cells and inflammatory molecules, contributing to a more efficient overall function of the body. For women over 40, this can mean more energy, less joint pain, and even improved mental clarity. It's important to remember that intermittent fasting is not about starving yourself or punishing your body for past eating habits. When applied in a personalized way, it can restore the body's lost balance, helping to reduce inflammation and regain vitality. There is no one-size-fits-all protocol, so it should be adapted based on your health history, lifestyle, and, most importantly, your well-being. Science has been increasingly focused on understanding how intermittent fasting influences inflammatory processes. And the results are promising. Studies show that controlled fasting periods reduce inflammatory markers in the blood, such as C-reactive protein and certain pro-inflammatory cytokines. When elevated, these substances are linked to a higher risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and autoimmune disorders, conditions that become more common after the age of 40. In women in this age group, research suggests that fasting can improve insulin sensitivity, reduce visceral fat, and, as a result, lower the constant production of inflammatory compounds. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition and Healthy Aging found that women who followed intermittent fasting protocols for several weeks experienced significant improvements in energy levels, reduced bloating, and even better sleep quality. Another important point is that intermittent fasting does not work in isolation. It promotes a cascade of metabolic adjustments, such as increased production of ketone bodies, which have natural anti-inflammatory properties. At the same time, the practice stimulates autophagy, helping remove damaged cells and molecules that contribute to chronic inflammation. These findings reinforce that fasting, when done with care and proper guidance, is not just a weight loss tool, but a deep health strategy. By reducing inflammation, it helps preserve the function of vital organs, improves metabolism, and slows degenerative processes that affect both quality of life and life expectancy. Starting intermittent fasting safely requires special attention to the body and its individual needs, especially after 40. When hormonal and metabolic changes make the body more sensitive to sudden adjustments. The first step is to understand that this is not a race against time, but a gradual process. Beginning with shorter windows, such as 12 hours of overnight fasting, allows the body to adapt without causing excessive discomfort. From that starting point, you can gradually work up to more common protocols, such as 14 or 16 hours, always paying close attention to how your body responds. It's essential to maintain a nutrient-rich diet during eating windows. Prioritizing high-quality proteins, healthy fats, and low glycemic index carbohydrates. This helps avoid glucose and insulin spikes, keeping the anti-inflammatory effects of fasting going for longer. Hydration should also be a priority. Water, herbal teas, and unsweetened coffee can be consumed during the fasting period to help with satiety and metabolic cleansing. Adequate rest and regular moderate exercise such as walking or adapted strength training further enhance the benefits by reducing inflammation and improving insulin sensitivity even more. It's equally important to recognize the signs that your body needs adjustments. Persistent fatigue, ongoing dizziness, insomnia, and irritability can indicate that the protocol is progressing too quickly. In these cases, reducing fasting time or adjusting your nutrition may be enough to restore balance. Consulting a healthcare professional before starting, especially if you have a history of chronic illness or take medication, ensures safety and consistent results. Approaching intermittent fasting with awareness and patience is what transforms it into a lasting ally against inflammation, preserving your health and energy for years to come. Although fighting inflammation is one of intermittent fasting's biggest attractions, the benefits for women over 40 go far beyond that. One of the most noticeable effects is increased energy throughout the day. By stabilizing blood sugar levels and improving insulin sensitivity, the body avoids the sharp highs and lows that cause fatigue, drowsiness, and difficulty concentrating. Another important benefit is support for maintaining a healthy weight. Fasting encourages the use of body fat as a source of energy, helping to reduce visceral fat, the kind stored in the abdominal area that is most closely linked to heart and metabolic risks. With less visceral fat, the body not only reduces inflammatory processes but also restores hormonal harmony. Intermittent fasting also plays a positive role in brain health. Studies show it can increase the production of proteins linked to neuron protection, reducing the risk of cognitive decline and improving mental clarity. For many women, this means feeling more focused, creative, and able to remember things more easily in daily life. The skin, often affected by aging and chronic inflammation, can benefit as well. By promoting autophagy and reducing oxidative stress, fasting supports cellular renewal, which can result in a healthier, more radiant appearance. Additionally, women who adopt this practice consistently often report improved sleep and greater motivation for physical activity, factors that together create a virtuous cycle of well-being. With all these combined effects, intermittent fasting stands not only as a method for controlling inflammation, but as a comprehensive strategy to promote longevity, vitality, and quality of life after 40. Taking care of your body after 40 isn't about fighting time. It's about creating the conditions for it to function at its fullest potential. Silent inflammation is a real enemy, but as we've seen, it's not unbeatable. Intermittent fasting applied gradually and consciously can lower inflammatory markers, improve insulin sensitivity, balance hormones, and restore energy and vitality. To start, choose a fasting window that feels comfortable and doable for your routine. Even if it's just 12 hours at first, prioritize fresh, nutrient-rich foods during eating windows. Stay hydrated and pay attention to your body's signals. Small, consistent adjustments bring longer-lasting results than radical, unsustainable changes. Remember, every body is unique. Observing your reactions, seeking high-quality information, and, whenever possible, working with a professional are key steps to getting the most from this practice. The goal is for intermittent fasting to become an ally in your lifestyle, not a source of stress or excessive restriction. If this content resonated with you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with other women who also want to age with health and energy. And tell me in the comments, have you tried intermittent fasting? What changes have you noticed in your body and your energy levels? Your experience could inspire and help many other women.